Man, there's so many electives to choose from. I don't know what to take.
Yeah, I don't even know what some of these electives are.
It's too bad there's not a video that explains all of them.
Hey, maybe there is. Why don't you use your phone to check it out?
Oh yeah, let's see.
All right, well, let's start with the ones that freshmen through senior can get into. So I teach a floriculture class, which all grade levels can join. And this is a class where we do numerous amounts of hands-on activities. We start the year working with real flowers, and we make corsages and boutonnieres. We learn how to make flower arrangements. We have a land lab out behind the school, and we work in the garden. We have a greenhouse. We plant plants, we water plants, we learn how to fertilize plants. Lots of really fun things in floriculture. We do prom corsages, and we actually sell them to students. A little bit about floriculture. I also teach an animal science class, which is sophomores through seniors. And in that class we work with small animals for the most part. We also learn about large livestock animals. We do lots of hands-on activities. It's a really science-based class, and we learn things through animals. And then I also teach an advanced vet science class where you can go after you take animal science, junior, senior class. We work with lots of cats and dogs, because in the vet industry they work with lots of cats and dogs. We get to work with them hands-on as well. We also go out to the land lab, and there's pigs, sheep, goats, chickens that we make sure we do vaccinations. We make sure they're healthy and clean. And then I also teach a woodshop class, which is freshman through senior. We have lots of beginning students as well as advanced students in woodshop, and we do 4 required projects. We start with a sanding block, super fun. You learn how to use all hand tools, and then we move on to a hinged box. We make a lamp table, and we learn how to use the router, and we make a router project. So very hands-on class as well.
Three classes I teach are ceramics, AP Studio Art 3D Design, and AP Studio Art 2D Design, which is all digital photography. In ceramics, we work with clay that you would fire in a kiln. So the first semester we do things like hand building, bowls, cups, vases, that sort of thing. Second semester we'll move into sculpture in clay, and we'll also try some other materials like wire, paper mache, book art, that kind of thing. Ceramics does not have a prerequisite. If you take AP 3D Design, you have to have had ceramics for 1 year. And so your second year of ceramics, instead of just doing regular curriculum, you'd be working on an AP portfolio to submit to the College Board. That's all 3D design. So in AP Studio Art 3D Design, you have to have had 1 year of ceramics. And in that class, you would create an AP portfolio that would be submitted to the College Board of 3-dimensional art. And we'll work with ceramics materials, wire, sculpture, all different media to create 3D pieces to submit to the College Board. If you get a passing score of 3, 4, or 5 on your portfolio, you can earn college credit for the class. The last class I teach is AP Studio Art 2D Design, and that is also working on a college portfolio. You do not have to have had art before. We use exclusively digital photography in that class to create a portfolio. And also, if you earn a 3, 4, or 5 in that class, you can earn college credit for the class. So it's a great way to get college credit and get AP credit without having an exam. And it's all digital photo. That one is just really popular because it's digital photography and there's no prerequisite. So it does fill up really quickly. That class is extremely rigorous. You have weekly photographs to take. There are a lot of deadlines, but you really grow a lot as an artist within 1 year. And we've had students come out of that class and get Scholastic Art Awards, get scholarships for college. So it's a really great class to take if you're thinking of majoring in art in college.
My name is Jeff Blackman. I teach engineering at the Hood River Valley High School. The 3 classes that I offer are Engineering 1, Robotics, and Electric Car. In Engineering 1, we go through the disciplines of the different engineering principles applied to civil engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering. It's a project-based class. We build things such as robots, bridges, electric motors, solar powered, and passive solar houses. And in Robotics 2, we actually build and compete in the first robotics FTC competition, which is, stands for First Technical Challenge. And we build robots for whatever the challenge is that year, and then we compete on the state and world level if we get that far. The electric car program is the other class that I teach. This is where we design and build electric go-karts. They're full-size cars that you build from scratch. You race them in 7 races in the Northwest, in Oregon and Washington, and then you finish the racing season at Portland International Raceway. The cars go about 30 miles an hour, up to 60 miles an hour on the open track. You've got 50 cars out at one time competing. We have a local race downtown Hood River. We close off the downtown streets, and you race your car against other students from around the Northwest, downtown Hood River, with about 200 people watching you.
The classes I teach this year are Principles of Agriculture, Agricultural Leadership, Tech Survey for Women, 2 sections of Agricultural Welding and Fabrication, and Agricultural Metals. So in Principles of Agriculture, it's the beginning class in our agriculture program, and it's kind of an overview class. We spend probably 1 day a week outside, more time in the spring and fall, and then we're inside mostly in the wintertime. We learn about Oregon agriculture, we learn about the FFA, and we learn about world agriculture as well as leadership. In the agricultural leadership class, that class is designed primarily for juniors and seniors. Some sophomores are in that class. And it's for those students that are FFA chapter officers or those that are going to meet their EA project through FFA. And we focus a lot on leadership. We plan all of our events and activities in that class. And we also fill out the applications and do the EA portion for people that meet their EA projects through FFA. I also teach a class called Tech Survey for Women, and that's an all-female class where we spend half the year in the wood shop and half the year in the metal shop, and it's a very artsy class. All of our projects are art-based. We do wood art, we do metal art, a little bit of jewelry, and it's a pretty fun class for girls. I teach 2 sections this year of agricultural welding and fabrication, and that's the advanced kind of metalworking class. It focuses on welding and fabrication. It's a college credit class, and generally to be in that class you need to have taken the agricultural metals class, although we will let people in that don't have that prerequisite. It usually takes more than 1 year for the kids to earn the college credit, but it is a class that can be repeated for the credit. And I also teach 1 section of agricultural metals, and Mr. Bozarth teaches the other sections of that. And that's a beginning class in the metal shop where we do an overview of all metalworking processes, forging, sheet metal, a little bit of welding, 2 types of welding, some bending of metal, and then we do a CNC computer metal project.
I'm Mr. Miley, and I teach multimedia design, video productions, and advanced multimedia design. In multimedia design, we pretty much cover computer graphics, going over the creation and editing of them. We also work with web design, animation, and video productions. It's pretty much a hands-on class, so if you like working on projects, that's the type of class it is. There really isn't any homework, but if you miss a class, you're missing 90 minutes. So that can be tough to make up sometimes, but I make a lot of tutorials, so it's really easy as long as you're coming outside of class to make that stuff up. We work with the Adobe Master Collection CS6, and we start off working with Illustrator, which is a vector-based drawing program. Then we get into Photoshop, which is a bitmap editing program. And then we work with Dreamweaver, which is a web design program. And then we get into Flash, which is a 2D animation program. And then we work with Premiere, which is our video editing program. In video productions, which is basically second-year multimedia, we just further our video production skills, and we learn a lot more about the pre-production and the production and the post-production stage. We also add in some more software. We work with music creation. We work with special effects using like Adobe After Effects, and we just do a lot more videoing. In advanced multimedia, the students are pretty much working on projects that they want to work on. They also work on skills that they want to develop more on, and we try to add in some new stuff that might not be covered in the previous lessons. But those are pretty much the elective classes that I teach here.
Hi, I'm Brian Bozarth. I am an agriculture teacher at Hood River Valley High School, and I teach 2 classes currently. Environmental science class, which is more of a natural resource ag-based class. We do work in the greenhouse. We work out on the land lab here at our high school, all along Indian Creek, and we learn about all the different trees, and we sample for bugs and all kinds of stuff like that. We actually catch some stuff on fire to reenact forest fires. We also do plant science, which is formerly the greenhouse class. And we mainly get the greenhouse up and running every year. We plant different things. We try hydroponics. We do the irrigation stuff. Lots of different things with plants. You're going to learn all there is to know about greenhouse type plants. We also do ag mechanics. So we work on small engines in the wintertime. And anytime it's good weather, we're outside actually building a building or pouring concrete or doing plumbing. This year we've put in some underground irrigation that's actually fresh water, so we'll have water out on our land lab year round. We're also working on a green roof system, and we have a couple buildings that are candidates for our green roof. It's a really good program, the ag department at Hood River. It's actually been #1 in Oregon for a few years.
My name's Kathy Stever, and I teach visual art, and I teach 6 classes. My classes are from beginning to advanced to independent, so I have a mix of students. I have grades 9 through 12 in every class, which I really enjoy because it helps inspires new students watching older students. Things that I do in this class are basically teaching you how to do what I call term flat art, and meaning that we're not doing any sculpture. Most of my things are done on paper, and we go from collage to pencil to painting using paints. We do color theory, and then we do some printing and using the printing press, and also some glass work. Students that really want to take art should sign up for art. It's not a playtime. It's not an elective that you should sign up for because you have nothing else to take. It's something that you're passionate about. So art is a way to express yourself visually, and it's also the artist's responsibility to communicate what's going on in the world through a visual experience. So not only for you, but for the viewer too. So it's your responsibility to learn how to communicate to the larger population.
So the electives I teach, let's start with the choirs. We have a concert choir, which is mostly for freshmen and sophomores, and that's split into boys in one group and girls in the other. And then we have our advanced choir, which is chamber singers, and you have to audition to get into that group, and that's the group that goes to Europe every other year. So we're taking our 8th trip to Europe this spring, going to Ireland again. And then we have Wind Ensemble, which is our concert band. And that's mostly for everybody this year. Sometimes we split that into freshmen and older kids, but this year it's everyone together. Before school, we have jazz band on B days, and then on A days, we have a group called Spectrum, which is a rock pop group. And this year it's called Aurora because it's a brand new girls group, so it's all women, and a rhythm section. And then we also have AP Music Theory, so that's a class for kids who want to take college level AP theory, so they study music theory like they would in college and take the AP test. It's hard to get into a band class unless you've been in band in middle school or already played an instrument, because we don't really have a beginning band class. But anybody's welcome to join concert choir and begin singing. So we have a lot of students that join choir as juniors or even seniors that have wanted to do it. And we also have people who join chamber singers as juniors or sophomores that weren't already in choir. They just are interested and they audition and get in. It's good to be able to read music if you're in chamber singers, because our music's college level music and it's pretty difficult. But you know, we always welcome new people, and anybody who's interested in taking music in college should be in music theory and learn how to write music and learn how it's put together. And then I also direct the musical, so Legally Blonde, which we're doing this year, and whatever we do in the fall, I do the musical, and that's open to anybody that wants to do it.
The electives that I teach in the theater department include dramatic literature, theater 1, theater 2, theater 3-4, and theater tech, and then we have a performance troupe called Phoenix Theater, which is also an elective. Dramatic literature is the study of the history of theater, and it looks at history of theater that goes all the way back 2,500 to 3,000 years ago, and it relates to society at that time. So we sort of not only get the history of theater, but history of the world and of the people. Theater 1 is an introductory level class. It's movement-based, so there's a lot of stage combat, dance, mime, classical mime, as well as scene work for the actor. Theater 2 takes Theater 1, the information that you learn in Theater 1, and it goes on and addresses classical acting technique. We'll be exploring Shakespeare and how to perform his plays. You will also get to dress up in the costume and the clothing of the era, and the gents get to walk around with swords and learn how to keep those swords out of people's ways. And we also in Theater 2 perform at the middle school. We do this special program we call Teen Scenes, and the students choose what they want to share with the 8th graders that will be coming into the high school the next year, and create scenes that address out those situations. Theater 3-4 is my advanced level acting class, and we look at different theories of acting. We explore more of the more serious side of theater, as well as in that class the student-directed one-act plays are rehearsed, and the students choose directors and then they cast the show, and it's performed at night for the community. Phoenix Theater is an audition class. You have to be enrolled concurrently with a theater class as well, and it's a movement-oriented troupe that goes out to the different grade schools, to festivals. We get invited to do gala openings. Phoenix Theater also teaches workshops and sort of our theater outreach program for the students in the Gorge. Phoenix Theater, Theater 3-4, and dramatic literature are also dual enrollment, so you would get college credit as well for taking those classes. And if you are in one of my plays and you have a speaking role, you also get a performance credit for that as well.
I don't teach first year Spanish, but in first year Spanish, it's for some kids an introduction to the language. For some kids, they've already had a lot of it at the middle school. It's an introduction to the basic vocabulary, numbers, telling time, simple descriptions, simple conversations, being able to ask questions, lots of memorized question and answer format, because that's how it works. Not a lot of, I would say, creativity with the language, because you just don't have the tools yet. You're basically just trying to get the building blocks so you can build up to the other levels. It's very fun. I would say most kids do well in level 1. It's the beginning, and it's fun. The sad part is that some kids come out of level 1 and then they move on to level 2 and realize, oh, this isn't quite as easy. But that's just the way it is. Language doesn't get easier, it gets more difficult. But at the same time, we include lots of culture and lots of fun activities to keep you interested and also to share with you our love of culture. So that's how level 1 is. We have some kids from the middle school who actually place into level 2 as freshmen, which has been actually pretty successful. Mostly we just want to make sure that kids there aren't huge gaps in their vocabulary. And so that's where level 1 really just nails it for you. You really get lots of solid vocab that kids tend to not forget because it's really drilled into them. So it's a really, really strong base.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Stevens, and I teach French here at Hood River Valley High School. We have 4 different levels of French. We have French 1 through French AP. First year, we start off just with basic introductions, activities. We do a lot of singing, partner work. It's a fun year that serves as an intro year to French. If students decide to go on, they can do French 2. And French 2 is a continuation, but we get into topics that kids always associate with French that they really like food and travel. And we have a project on French-speaking countries that they really enjoy. French 3 and AP French are for kids that have been really committed to learning French. French 3, we learn harder verb tenses. They have a fun unit on French fairy tales. Last year we presented French fairy tales in the theater. And then in AP French, there are 6 topics that they work on all year long in preparation for the AP French test. So it's a lot of different things, but the kids come in and our classes are taught in French and the kids participate in French and they have a great time. Students are not required to have a foreign language to graduate, but if you're interested in going to a 4-year university, colleges really like to see that you've had at least 2 consecutive years of a foreign language on your transcript. So you can do French 1 and French 2, or Spanish 1 and Spanish 2, but colleges really like to look at that. All the language courses are open to everyone, freshmen through seniors, so anyone can take them.
I'm Ms. Hahn. I teach advanced PE and personal fitness. Advanced PE is not a lot different than Wellness 9 as far as it's team sport oriented. Do a lot of team sports and same kind of thing. Add fitness element in there, so we're still doing fitness testing and stuff like that. And personal fitness is going to be more personal. We did a running unit where we did interval running, we did long distance running, we did races, we did relays. Then we're doing right now CrossFit unit, which if those of you who haven't heard of that, CrossFit's really cool. They do CrossFit Games. Reebok sponsors CrossFit Games, and check it out, it's pretty sweet. So we're doing CrossFit right now. Next we'll do yoga. We're gonna do box fit. So we got boxing gloves and boxing mitts and stuff like that. So there's gonna be a lot of different things we're gonna do, but it's more toned towards personal rather than team sport. So people who should take my personal fitness class are people who might not be as comfortable doing team sports or might not feel like they excel in team sports and want more of a personalized individual fitness program, fitness class, because by the end of the class what we're doing is developing a personalized fitness program for ourselves. So we're going to take all the units that we've done, the CrossFit, the yoga, the aerobics, all of it, and you're going to design it specifically for what you want and what you need, and that's going to be kind of the final project that we do in the class. Whereas advanced PE is going to be if you still want to play team sports, and we still work hard, we still do cardio, we still do circuit training and stuff like that, but we're doing a lot of team sports also. So competitive people, advanced PE, not so competitive, personal fitness.
Hi, my name is Joe Correa. I teach study hall here at Hood River Valley High School. Study hall is a place where you can come, study. It's actually the main thing. Study, read, do your homework. For athletes, it's awesome because you get a chance to do your work here at school. instead of having to wait to go home, especially when you are getting home later because of games. Some people take it just a break. They don't have to take a class. You do get credit for it. It's half a credit for all year. And then it's also, well, the thing I try to promote is a steady atmosphere where people can actually get work done. So if you're the kind of person that can't buckle down and has to goof off and be the center of attention, then study hall probably isn't for you. Otherwise, it's open to anybody and everyone, and we have all 4 grades here. We have 400 kids I see every 200 days, so but you may say, well, not a problem, I'll just get into study hall. However, that's not always the case because we only have 416 seats. Some people take 2 study halls, and it gets filled up fast. We do turn people away. So it's important, if that's what you want, to go ahead and sign up early for study hall.